A very good afternoon to you and a warm welcome to KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. It is 1 p.m. We are live here at the Broadcasting House. We are also live on Facebook, on YouTube and on Twitter at KBC Channel 1. I am Nisi Imano. I am joined by Lensa Odingo as our sign language interpreter for this bulletin. All right. On to our very first story, and political parties that have not been registered have until the 26th of March to do so. The Registrar of Political Parties, Anne Nderitu, says the office is well prepared for the task ahead. Speaking during a consultative meeting on access to information framework on elections and media practice, the Registrar further stated that the role of her office in political party primaries will be limited to only regulation but not to conducting the exercise.
The timelines as gazetted IBC have not been interfered with, but there are timelines for political parties to do certain things in terms of ensuring that our party primaries are credible, free and fair and also transparent. The resignation of a member, of a sitting member, is a process. And how you lose a seat also, it's a process, because some particular notification must be done. So it's upon the different institutions to determine that. But I can say that it's more of a political question than a legal question in terms of knowing whether somebody is going to lose a seat. Because, of course, we know for sure that 3 months to election, no by-election can be held.
All right, we now want to take you to Karen at the Karen Command Center, where KANU, Wiper, Kenya and UDP have come together for a presser.
We have gathered here as One Kenya Alliance, fully cognizant that we carry the aspirations of millions of Kenyans who yearn for just, inclusive and prosperous nation anchored on the rule of law and equitable distribution of resources. Hence, we wish to bring the public up to speed with the progress of OCA. 1, to formally incorporate all the constituent political parties into the One Kenya Alliance. We are glad to inform Kenyans that this morning, OCA principals have signed a deed of assignment. This is an affirmation of our commitment to standing firm together and focus on securing the lives of Kenyans. Additionally, we have finalized on the OCA coalition agreement, which details the nature and extent of our political engagement and cooperation as partners. Therefore, on Monday, February 28th, 2022, we shall officially deposit it with the Register of Political Parties as OCA Coalition. 2, we will officially and publicly unveil the One Kenya Alliance coalition and demonstrate how our vision will fundamentally transform Kenya. As a build-up towards the official unveiling, we have lined up a series of public engagements, activities to be hosted by constituent political parties and partners in various parts of the country. 3, our resolve emanates from the resilience we have witnessed among Kenyans in our recent political tours. Indeed, they deeply desire leadership with a solemn responsibility to build a responsive and sustainable economy, promote the rule of law, and restore the decency of living within our borders. 4, as an alliance governed by values and principles of equality, equity, sustainable development, empowered citizen, and zero tolerance to corruption, we are open to honest engagements with other political formations which share in our ideology. This shall involve structured and open negotiations which must include resolution of the country's crippling debt portfolio and discussion of exploration of our natural resources to address the debt and create employment for our largely unemployed youth, among other important issues. As of today, several other political parties have expressed interest in joining the coalition. This is because we believe that the diversity in our nation calls for heterogeneity of minds and ideas to effect impactful changes. Finally, we urge Kenyans to exercise their civic duty to register as voters in the remaining 4 days of the enhanced voter registration. God bless Oka. God bless Kenya.
All right, pictures there of a press conference earlier today that has just concluded, and speaking there was Gideon Moi. That's also a story that we'll bring to you comprehensively in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, police in ISIOLO and Samburu counties have intensified the search for 3 suspects who attacked Loruko police post in ISIOLO, shot and killed a police officer before escaping with 2 G3 rifles on Monday night. One of the suspects arrested during the incident is in custody, being interrogated over the incident.
According to ISIOLO County Commissioner Geoffrey Omoding, during the attack, the police officer was manning the police post alone as his colleagues were out on patrol.
Wakora walikuwa 4 walikuja wakitumia pikipiki. Baada ya kutenda hicho kitendo walitoroka.
Omoding said a special unit has been formed to pursue the culprits and are acting on tips they have on the whereabouts of the suspect.
To poke the eyes of the government, ambia kwani utadu na tutataka kuonyesha hawa ya kwamba we will do something, because last week they killed the OCS in Samburu.
Attackers are believed to have come from the neighboring Samburu County, where a senior officer who sustained gunshot injuries from raiders while in line of duty also succumbed a few days ago. For Lunchtime News, I'm Zainab Said.
And elsewhere, a police officer from Huisero Sub-County Police Headquarters has committed suicide. According to Huisero Police Boss Samuel Togo, the body of the officer Dismas Makoha, aged 45, was found hanging from the roof of his house. It is not yet clear why he hung himself, with reports pointing at work-related stress.
That the deceased failed to report to work for 2 months and disciplinary action was taken against him.
I was informed by the OCS and I went to the scene and I also saw the body. We broke into the house. We called the scenes of crime who took necessary action and the body has been removed to Kakamega mortuary where postmortem will be done.
Togo says this man had a drinking problem.
Hatuwezi jua alifikiria nini. However, amekuwa na shida ndogo ndogo za kutoingia kazi, mara ameshindwa na ulevi kidogo. Nafikiri mambo kama hayo imechangia yeye kuchukua maisha yake. Kwa muda ya miezi 4 iliyopita hajakuwa akifanya kazi kwa njia mzuri.
He said the deceased was relieved of his duties following his drinking problems.
Nafikiri hakufurahia alivyoambiwa kwa sababu haikuwa vizuri kwake. Nafikiri hakufurahi. Na ilikuwa kuna namna nyingine, nature of duty must follow, procedures ya kazi lazima ingefuatwa. So I think he was angered by the proceedings. He wasn't happy about it.
His body was taken to Kakamega County Hospital mortuary awaiting a postmortem.
Kisii Central Sub-County Police Commander Peter Kimani says efforts to tackle mental health challenges among police officers in the area have made considerable progress. Speaking at the annual party, the commander regretted that many officers have taken their own lives on issues that can easily be addressed.
Here in Kisii, we are a step forward because we have a team that is going around sensitizing and counseling our officers on mental health awareness, led by our very able county commander, Mr. Koholi, who is not here with us today, but he sent his salams and well wishes to you. That team is going around. The other day it was in Nyamache where they had lectures with police officers on the election period to ensure that this period is going to be a successful year, a peaceful one. I only want to take this opportunity to urge the politicians, those aspiring for elective posts, to do it peacefully without inciting members of the public and the electorate, and also uttering words that could actually make people start what we call tribal hatred, tribal animosity. I want to urge them to desist with that.
Crossing over to Kisumu now, where Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o has assured traders who were evicted from the Kibuye market that they shall be allocated stalls in a new market under construction. Governor Nyong'o said all traders within the county will have decent trading spaces in the 789 capacity Chicho market and the 8,000 capacity Uhuru Business Complex.
Traders who had been displaced by the demolition staged at Kibuye Market in Kisumu about 2 years ago will soon breathe a sigh of relief following the launch of Phase 2 of the Kibuye Modern Market project. Phase 1 of the project is near completion, and Governor Nyong'o says all traders who had been displaced will get slots at the vast facility.
Juzi tulijenga soko la Chichwa. We have 789 traders trading there. Uhuru Business Park is ready. We'll take about 8,000 traders. This phase of Kibuye will give you space, all traders who are sent out of here, to begin business.
Governor Nyong'o says once completed, the Kibuye Modern Market, which is being funded jointly by the county government and the World Bank, will include, among other amenities, a police station, feeding and lactation centers for babies.
In this very market, police station. In this very market, we are going to have a bank. In this very market, we are going to have restaurants. In this very market, we are going to build feeding center for babies, a lactation center for babies. Hatutaki wakina mama wakimbia nyumbani kupatia mtoto chakula.
The governor also used the opportunity to drum up support for his re-election in the August 9 polls.
Katika uchaguzi ujao, tungependa kupigia kura Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga kama rais wa 5 wa Kenya. Ikiwa rais huko mbele huko Nairobi na mimi niko hapa, itawezekana.
He urged Kisumu residents yet to register as voters to utilize the remaining few days to do so. Wycliffe Okech for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, East Africa Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament Florence Jematia Segon has been arrested by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Nairobi. Jematia was being sought by police for allegedly making remarks bordering on hate speech and incitement during a meeting in Baringo County. The legislator, who is affiliated with the United Democratic Alliance, was captured on a video which has since gone viral, threatening to arm Baringo residents to fight bandits.
2 days after being accused of allegedly threatening to arm Baringo residents to fend off bandits, Yala Member of Parliament Florence Jematia Segon was Wednesday arrested by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Nairobi. The legislator, who is eyeing the Baringo woman representative position, was captured on video which has since gone viral, threatening to start a funds drive to aid the purchase of guns.
Tuliona kwamba yale ambayo amesema sio yale ambayo inafaa, na ndio tunakanya wale viongozi wengine pia, kama njia ni hiyo ya kuincite watu, sisi kama serikali hatuwezi kubali. Lazima tuchukue hatua so that ile impunity mtu ako nayo, hiyo impunity iishe.
This evening, as Baringo South parliamentary aspirant Joseph Tarus presented himself to the DCI to record statement on alleged incitement utterances he made during an interdenomination prayer meeting in Lamaywe in Baringo South constituency.
Lazima ukitafuta siasa ama unatafuta kiti, tafuta kiti kwa ile maendeleo either umefanya ama unataka kufanya kwa wananchi, lakini sio kusema tutanulia watu bunduki. Hiyo ni, it was very cheap politics.
Elsewhere, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya has lashed out at a section of leaders for causing division in Central Kenya region for their selfish gains.
Ili agenda ingine tunahusiwa sana. Hasa sisi watu wa mlima. Ni watu kujaribu kutugawanya. Si kuna wa East, si kuna wa West, si kuna wa wapi. Wao wakuwe pamoja lakini sisi tugawe.
Munya, who was in Kiambu, said Central Kenya region will not be coerced to join any alliance blindly without knowing what was in store for them.
Kama tunakupigia hii kura uwe president, na sisi tutapata nini? Na iwe documented. Na ndio sababu tulikuwa tunangoja hii sheria ya political parties amendment bill ipite. Ndio iwe agreement zile tutaweka sitakuwa za kisheria.
His remarks coming as a section of leaders in Mount Kenya East under the Devolution Empowerment Party BAS deny claims that they have formed coalitions with Oka.
Tumeagana na Kiraitu, gavana wa Meru. Tukiendesha hii chama, wananchi ndio watakuwa wenye chama. We will be following what the people want. Not what kama mtu ni mdosi ati yako huko juu vile anasema hapana.
And former Youth Principal Secretary Lilian Omolo, who is facing graft charges in the 9 billion shillings National Youth Service scandal, has declared her interest to vie for Embu senatorial seat in the forthcoming polls. Speaking from her rural home in Rukira village in Manyata constituency, Embu, After her meeting with her grassroots supporters, former PS said she will in a week's time name her party of choice.
I do not think there is any candidate in this county today, any aspirant on issues of devolution who would understand or explain them or follow them to the capacity that I am capable of doing. There isn't any. That is a guarantee, I can tell you.
Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
The latest now in the COVID-19 situation, where Kilifi County government has commenced a mass vaccination drive for the locals interested in getting vaccinated against the COVID-19 disease. The team from the county, in conjunction with the Ministry of Health officials, have embarked on a door-to-door campaign to sensitize locals on the importance of being inoculated. Purity Museo reports.
COVID-19 vaccination sensitization campaign began with the chiefs who were later mandated to talk to their people about the need to be vaccinated against COVID-19 disease.
Timu ya MOH na watu wake wako na teams 13 ambazo zimesambazwa kwa the whole Malindi sub-county. Watakuwa wanashirikiana na machiefs na assistant chiefs and the village elders na nyumba 10 ili kutoa wananchi kwa manyumba zao. Wa chief afanye juhudi zake, mbinu zake kulingana na vile anaelewa sublocation yake ama location yake, ahakikishe ya kwamba zile target wamepewa, kila chief na assistant chief wamesomewa target zake.
Tutakuwa tunafikia watu wote katika mashule, ambao mashule tulitangulia kuhusisha Sub-County Director of Education na communicate na principals wote ambao wako kule mashule. Na pia tutafikia makanisa siku za Jumapili, tutafikia pia misikiti siku ya Ijumaa, pia tutafikia masoko na tutafikia sehemu zote ambazo ziko na hafla kama matanga, kama harusi, ili kufikia watu wetu katika kila village.
Kilifi County targets to vaccinate over 12,000 people during the 10-day campaign.
Tunataka kuhimiza wananchi ya kwamba itafika pahali ukija kwa ofisi yangu mimi nitakuuliza kama umepata chanjo. Kama hujapata chanjo, mimi nitakuhimiza uende kwanza upate chanjo ili ukuje upate huduma.
In Turkana County, the ministry officials target to vaccinate at least 52,000 people before the end of the week. The county has so far vaccinated 5.5% of its population, and the county's Department of Health says the new strategy being implemented is aimed at boosting the current vaccination rate. Purity Museo, Lunchtime News.
On that note, we take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Please keep it here for more news.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
有一段故事建筑一座城堡
I've thought it through. And I think I finally understand what it is you're trying to do.
Wow. Brings tears to your eyes, right?
I want to ask a favor of you.
What is it? I'm glad to help.
The doctor says I only have about a month left.
Why would you want to be around them? What are you going to do when you get there? Make him choose between you and her? I know you won't do that.
What's he done wrong? If he were to betray Qinghuan and had an affair with another woman, I wouldn't help.
If I'm going to leave, I'm going to at least do it with dignity.
有一段故事建筑一座城堡，回放进去好久不再。
Tusirudi nyuma kwa mipaka na nchi kufungwa. Tusirudi kwa biashara na shule kufungwa. Kwa kutoweza kukutana. Kwa kutengana na tuwapendao. tusirudi nyuma.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendelee na maisha vizuri.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
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 Ili tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Lunchtime News. More than 8,000 workers of a garment-making company at the export processing zone in Athi River have staged protests over alleged forceful transition to a new salary scheme as the company transforms from Hela Intimate to Hela Clothing. The protests, which entered the second day, are also stemming from dismissal of some workers, which they term unlawful.
This is the scene at one of the EPZ franchises. Workers at Hela Intimate are locked inside the company and the premise manned by police officers as other employees protest against the company's move to enroll them in the new payment scheme. The agitated workers are accusing their employer of allegedly applying tactics to avoid paying more than 300 workers who are entitled to years of service benefits by changing their company's name to Hela Clothing.
Kila siku ni threaten. Na sasa hii tumebadilishiwa kampuni. Jina ilikuwa ni Hela Intimate, sasa ni Hela Clothing. Hatutaki kulipwa miaka yetu, tunalazimishwa kubadilishiwa namba ya serial number. Lazima ukikataa unafukuzwa. Ukiongea kitu unafukuzwa.
The workers further accused the company of victimization by summarily dismissing workers who question the management's violation of the workers' rights.
Unapata mfanyikazi amfanya for 5 years Hela or 10 years. Ananyimwa haki yake, anafutwa, anaenda na summary. Unatafutiwa makosa yoyote ambayo haujafanya, unaenda na summary dismissal. Na unatoka bila shilingi. Kabla payroll ibadilishwe, mfanyikazi anafaa lipwe service yake. Na ingie na namba ingine mpya. Sasa hapa namba ya kazi imebadilishwa na hajalipwa pesa na unaambiwa uende mahali unataka.
Hii kampuni inaitwa Hela hawafuati sheria. Especially saa hii tuko na kesi kotini, wanataka kuoverturn wafanyakazi wasilipo service yao. Wanataka kila kitu, wafanyakazi wakiingia kwa union wanatoa wafanyakazi through backdoors.
The workers are now calling on the Central Organization of Trade Unions and the Ministry of Labor to intervene and investigate the company for harassment of workers. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Wamboi Otiende.
Elsewhere, a section of Gambela residents living in the border of Meru and ISIOLO counties have appealed to the government to help resolve a protracted land dispute to enable them develop their properties. Locals say they have lived at the area for over 4 decades and that it was unfair that they are being discriminated.
The residents said delayed issuance of the land documents continued to subject them to a lot of suffering while their Meru brothers were having their land adjudicated. The disputes, they said, had seen several residents killed, injured and maimed.
Kama raia wengine sisi natengwa, tumewachwa nje. Kwa hivyo tukilima shamba wanaweka ng'ombe. Kuuliza ni risasi. Naona kuuliza ni risasi. Ile jambo nahusu sana ni hiyo. Ukiongea nashukwa natupwa ndani.
They claimed the titling process had been politicized and accused local administrators of colluding with unscrupulous individuals to defraud them of their land.
Sisi ile hata
msaada sisi tunapata ni ISIOLO. Hata kama ni pesa hii ya watu wasijiweza, yatima ni ISIOLO. Ya Mero hakuna kitu inatusaidia.
The residents claimed they had been neglected by the Meru County government, saying they were being forced to seek services such as health from neighboring ISIOLO County. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Lunchtime News.
In Laikipia, the county government has opened a maternity wing at the Melwa dispensary in Marmanet ward. The facility is expected to ease services to expectant mothers. Women have been advised to embrace delivery in hospitals for their safety and that of their children.
To encourage women to give birth in hospitals and reduce maternal mortality cases, Laikipia County Government has opened a new maternity wing at Melwa dispensary in Marmanet ward. The facility will ease the distance residents, especially mothers, walked to access maternity services. Laikipia Chief Officer in charge of Health, Dr. Donald Mogoi, while opening the facility, noted that it was out of this demand that the devolved unit decided to construct the wing to relieve mothers who travel over 15 kilometers to access the maternal services.
Hawakuwa na jengo maalumu la kufanya hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo kwa saizi tulijenga ili jengo na pia kuweka zile vifaa za kusaidia wamama katika hilo jengo ili waweze kupata mazingira mema ambapo wataweza kujifungulia.
Marmanet MCA Simon Kanyutu, together with the residents, lauded the move with women pledging to embrace hospital delivery. Women who deliver at the new maternity section will be awarded a Hongera Mama Kit, a program rolled out by the County First Lady Maria Mbeneka. The kit will include diapers, a basin, petroleum jelly, soap, cotton wool and baby shawls.
Usafi, watu watakuwa wanapewa watoto kwa njia ya usafi vile wamekuwa wakipata kwa barabara. Sasa kufika hapa ni karibu na watakuwa inawasaidia zaidi.
And a major traffic was today witnessed in roads leading to and outside of Mombasa Central Business District after new traffic rules were implemented. The changes were announced on Monday by the County Transport Executive Officer Taufik Balala, who said the move was aimed at easing traffic in the CBD and its environs.
On Mombasa roads this morning, traffic snacked in and out of the Mombasa Central Business District, with both county and traffic officers manning the roads, redirecting the vehicles to the new routes. The announcement on the route change was announced yesterday by the County Traffic Executive Officer, Taufik Balala. The roads affected are Sheikh Abdallah Fasi, Digo Road, Jomo Kenyatta and Ronald Ngala Road. However, the implementation this morning did not go well with the road users, as they lamented poor communication from the county office about the drastic changes.
Inapasa kama ni barabara inabadilishwa, inapasa kwanza itangaziwe watu wajue kuanzia tarehe fulani kutakuwa na hii na iwe na mpangilio. Lakini kazi yenye wametufanyia leo haijakuwa na mpangilio yoyote. Tumeamka usubuhi tunapata barabara imeshabadilishwa.
Hii serikali ya county unaona kama hii petrol accident, maana mtu anaangalia barabara hii one way, anaangalia barabara gari za kutoka huko, unaona akivuka kumbe kuna gari imefika ndio pale kidogo nigoge mtu pale ni muue, unaona. Sasa hiyo at least pale watu mapema na mahali kama mimi naenda Nyali, kumbe hii one way barabara kwenda Nyali ni ile nao kusema pale, unaona wanaambia tu ni one way.
Since most of the commuters did not know the new routes, traffic officers were stationed at the junctions to redirect them, with many road users spending hours on the road.
Mimi nimepata tabu kutoka Bamburi kuingia hapa, niliamka saa 10. Kitambo nifika hapa town nimefika saa 1. Kusema ukweli hii barabara vile imefanywa, it's like a comedy. Ile kitu imefanyika hapa ni kama comedy. Ni kitu imepangwa jana, leo tukaletwa jana hiyo usiku tukaletwa barua. Imetuadhiri na jamu iko kila mahali. Mimi nimetoka Bamburi, mahali huwa nachukua 45 minutes. Kuja kufika hapa mimi imechukua masaa 2.5.
Wataka pia warifu watu mapema, mambo kama hii wakuwaeleza watu mapema. Unaona tu ile mali kwa naenda kazini saa hii saa 2. Unaona kwa kila kawaida wanafika 7:30. lakini leo mpaka saa 2:30 sasa hivi bado sijafika kazini.
Vehicle owners and boda riders say they will be forced to spend more on fuel since the new routes are longer, with the business people along Mombe Tayari complaining that their businesses will also be affected.
Sasa imeniadhiri na barabara hii hajachorwa. Ukitaka kwenda kama ni Makupa, unaenda paka town ndio uende Makupa. Na kama ninaenda Chuda, paka nipite town center ndio niende Makupa. Na si kutoka Kongoe kwenda Makupa ni shilingi 150. Sasa sasa ukiambia mteja akupatie shilingi 300 ama shilingi 200, anasema sasa biashara iko chini, hataki kukulipa. Maofisi zetu wenye ziko pande hii na barabara ishabadilika, hazina kazi tena, kwa sababu abiria huwezi kumwambia aje kuingia gari azunguka ingia kwa gari hapa na hapa. Hii barabara ukiangalia ni kama haina kazi tena yenye tunafanyia kazi. Maana barabara moja imebaki na kazi, ile nyingine haina kazi.
In their letter to the county of Mombasa, Ken Hahu say they have not been consulted when changes were made, noted that roads belonging to them have been affected by the proposal to decongest the Mombasa Central Business District, and there was need to urgently convene a stakeholders meeting to evaluate the proposed traffic decongestion plan. Mombasa residents are calling on the county government to reconsider the new routes. Mombasa County has an estimated 10,000 vehicles. For Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
And elsewhere, boda operators in Trans Nzoia County have hit out at politicians in the area for using them to advance their own interests. The riders accusing allies of Trans Nzoia gubernatorial aspirant George Natembeya of allegedly failing to release money meant to pay them for their services that they offered during his homecoming in Kitale.
Of boda operators in Trans Nzoia County are up in arms over what they have termed as misuse by politicians for selfish gains, especially during political rallies. They have taken issue with allies of Trans Nzoia gubernatorial aspirant George Natembeya for allegedly pocketing money meant to pay them for their services during his homecoming on Saturday. The operators say despite offering their services to escort the gubernatorial aspirant to Kenyatta Stadium in Kitale, they are yet to receive the money that Natembeya says he released for their payment.
Leo hii tuko na uchungu sana. Sisi wanabodaboda tulienda kutanisha bwana George Natembeya Moisbridge, tukakuja naye mpaka stadium. Bwana Natembeya alitoa shilingi 2,000,000 to support sisi wanabodaboda, sababu hiyo siku tulipoteza siki yetu. Na hiyo pesa ilienda kwa mkono ya wakora. Vile ilienda kwa mkono ya wakora, sisi tulikaa mpaka saa 6 usiku tukingoja pesa zetu, hatukuona. Tulichukua jukumu tukaenda tukakutana bwana Natembeya mwenyewe. Akatuambia alitoa pesa akapatiana ikuje kwa mkono ya bodaboda.
Sisi kama wanabodaboda Trans Nzoia County tunahitaji hiyo pesa irudi kwa wanabodaboda.
They have further cautioned politicians against using them to fuel animosity during the electioneering period. Meanwhile, a section of Malindi residents in Kilifi County have accused Devolution Chief Administrative Secretary Gideon Mungaro for allegedly using road projects he did not initiate to seek votes in his gubernatorial bid. The residents accuse him for taking credit in the initiation of the construction of the Malindi Salagate Road, Baricho Bridge, Mavueni Mariakani Road and Bamba Mariakani Roads.
Sasa yeye anachukua nafasi ya watu ambao walifanya maendeleo katika hii Malindi ama katika Kilifi nzima hii, anajifanya yeye ndo alifanya yale maendeleo kwa sababu apate kile kiti cha ugavana.
Tulikuwa tukitafuna mavumbi sana sisi barabarani. Lakini sasa ni Kazungu alipokuwa mbunge akasukuma hii barabara ili tuone watu wa Malindi, watu wa Ganda kwa ujumla na Jilore Kakuyuni paka huko tuwe tunakanyaga kwenye barabara nzuri ya lami.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
All right, now on to the day's business, where the Commission on Revenue Allocation is calling on county governments to tap financing instruments availed by the capital markets to diversify their revenue streams. Commission on Revenue Allocation Vice Chair Humphrey Watanga says 6 county governments are currently at an advanced stage of floating infrastructure bonds to finance development in their devolved units. Involved unit to explore bonds as a financing model. All right, we will retake that story just a little bit later in the bulletin. International Finance Corporation Managing Director Maktar Diop has today visited the Tatu City Special Economic Zone. The 5-day tour is aimed at highlighting IFC's commitment to supporting Kenya's development agenda and the private sector's role in championing a more inclusive recovery from the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
International The World Bank's investment arm is an anchor investor for Copier Global, an e-commerce business that runs a logistic and distribution hub covering an area of 4,000 square meters based at Tatu City Special Economic Zone. So far, Tatu City Special Economic Zone hosts more than 60 local, regional and multinational businesses. IFC Managing Director Maktar Diop's tour of Tatu City follows talks with President Uhuru Kenyatta, where he pledged IFC's commitment to promote social inclusion, support to the private sector in the areas of health, agriculture, housing and public-private partnerships. IFC has identified the private sector as instrumental in supporting Kenya's continued recovery from the pandemic and in creating more productive jobs in the longer term. Diop, who is eyeing more business deals with Kenyan private sector firms, also met corporate leaders, including Cooperative Bank CEO Gideon Muriuki. IFC has in the recent years increased investments in Kenyan firms, among them the Cooperative Bank, Equity and KCB. Last year, IFC loaned the Cooperative Bank $75 million for onward lending to small businesses affected by the coronavirus disruptions. The meeting with Coop Bank discussed how IFC can help unlock financing for small and medium healthcare businesses. Diop, who also met players in the pharmaceutical industry, said Kenya has the opportunity to become a leading pharmaceutical hub in the East African region, and the IFC is keen to support this by facilitating policy dialogue and unlocking the potential for more investments. Regina Mayara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, over 100 people living with disabilities in Busia County have received free tools of trade from the National Funds for Disability. The equipment, worth 2.4 million shillings, is aimed at making the beneficiaries self-reliant.
While handing over the items, the fund's trustee, Professor Julia Ojambo, encouraged people living with disabilities to apply for the equipment and benefit from the fund. Professor Ojambo said the fund is only able to support 3,000 out of the 10,000 applications received annually.
Tumeacha forms nyingi kwa county commissioners na tumeacha pia mwito ya kwamba walemavu wajitokeze kwa wingi ili tuwasaidie.
The beneficiaries commended the government, saying that the tools will empower them to fend for themselves and their families. Matayos Deputy County Commissioner Kipchumba Ruto cautioned the beneficiaries against selling the equipment for short-term gain.
Wale wamechaguliwa na wamepata vifaa, lazima watumie vifaa kwa njia ambavyo ni nzuri, si ndio? Wasiende kuuza, wasiharibu, na watumie in a very diligent way, not a careless or negligent way.
Hizi vifaa zenye tumeletewa itatusaidia mingi ili tupate kuinuka hata sisi tuonekane katika jamii.
The equipment included farm toolkits, hairdressing and tailoring machines.
Will face Burkina Faso in the first semi-final match of the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. Senegal, who finished runner-up in the previous edition, boasts of stars including Liverpool striker Sadio Mane, Napoli defender Kalidou Koulibaly, while Burkina Faso will miss the services of Dango Ouattara.
Game by beating a team who, despite their riches in talent, have never lifted the Nations Cup. Penalty shootouts against Tunisia. However, Burkina Faso will be without Dango Ouattara after his red card against Tunisia.
And Manchester United footballer Mason Greenwood has been further arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and making threats on his girlfriend. The club has said he will not play until further notice. Video game developer EA Sports said the forward had been removed from FIFA products.
Training and no further matches for Mason Greenwood until